means it's not. Right? It's $2,000. I mean, that's nothing. I'll drop that at CVS. No, you won't.
No, you won't.
Nope.
Not enough multivitamins you
You
can get.
have to go to a far more expensive drugstore. CVS is pretty pricey though. So,
Yeah. hmm Oh man. I have been doing weighted walks.
oh, okay.
I've got a 30-pound weight vest and I just go on walks with it.
I have a built-in 30-pound weight vest.
that's I'm not gonna lie. When I first put it on, I was like, this is what it would feel to be 300 pounds. I was like, oh, this would hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, but I like it. Now I've gotten used to it. I did 5 miles walking today.
Oh,
And
nice.
I think the thing is like I could walk forever. Like I feel like I like there's not too much of a distance where I walk and I'm
Mm-hmm.
just like, oh man, that was too much walking. Right. That's is so I don't have to worry about running. I'm out there just walking, sometimes with music, sometimes without. I'm just walking and my heart rate never really goes above 145.
Nice.
So it's that steady state.
Do you have a pretty flat walking area?
Sometimes, sorry, on the hill it can get to 150.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yes, there's like one or two hills in my neighborhood. So it's just like it's been good. I like it. And today I'm just like I'm really sore. I didn't realize that. I was like, oh man, I'm getting better. I've been doing this for 2 weeks now. Doesn't feel that heavy anymore. I did 14,000 steps today. I
Mm.
was like, man, I feel good. Then I was like, man, I took a bath before, hot bath. I got out the bath. Oh God, everything hurts. My shoulders, back, chest, everything hurts.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I went to the doctor, he was just like, you ever tried rucking? I was like, you mean just like putting weights on my back and walking? He's like, yeah, yeah, just that. I was like, no, I never
Like a
thought about that.
rucksack. I get it now.
Yeah, rucksack. Yeah. So he was like, I was like, no, I was like, I prefer like running. He's like, you should try rucking. It's easier on your joints. It's it burns more calories because you're putting more weight on your body
Mm-hmm.
in less time. He was like, no, just try it. I was like, all right. I've been doing it. Like, it's actually pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually, and I had a weight vest, but it was like a 5-10 pound weight vest. It wasn't enough to, I would run normal, but it wasn't enough to really feel it. That 30-pound one, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
It's enough to,
I
it is
believe that.
enough to feel it. So I've
Yeah.
been doing that. I've been doing that just for walks, just going out there, getting a walk on.
Well,
It's been
that's
good.
like over an hour walk though, going for 5 miles. So
Yeah, it was an hour and 30 minutes
I'd say
today.
it's a long walk. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
When do you have the time to go for an hour and 30-minute walk?
So normally it's an hour walk or a
Mm-hmm.
45-minute walk, but today, uh, Julian was sick, so I stayed home with him.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, at my lunchtime, well, lunchtime I didn't work. I went out at 11:30 and got back at 1. So,
Okay.
but normally at work we have a gym now inside the office, not
Mm-hmm.
inside the office, but inside the building that we could all use. So I go down for 12 and I'll hit the treadmill and I'll do 2 miles, 2.5 miles with the pack on, and then we got weights there, so I'll lift a little bit. So I've been working out a little bit more now. Feels
Nice.
good.
Yeah.
Feels good.
I've been going for those morning walks too. So my block is exactly half a mile. So I walk on the block, and I live at the top of a hill. So the first half of the walk is a coast.
Enjoyable.
The,
Enjoyable.
that return home, it is a steep hill too. Because when I'm walking and I'm at the bottom of the hill, I look up and I can see my house. Right, it's pretty high. There's probably, I would say about a 50 to 60 foot difference in
Mm.
elevation from the bottom of the hill to the top of the hill. And yeah, so when you get down to like, okay, the first one good, second one good, third lap, it's like, okay, that this hill is like really getting there, and that's I get that 150 heartbeat, 150 beats per minute sort of thing going. It's a
Yeah.
good hill. I only do like 2 miles in the morning because I gotta get the kids out the door, and then I have about 50 minutes before work starts, and I don't want to like walk and then like go right from the door to the desk sort of thing. It's kind of sucks doing that. So
When I'm home, And like say, when I'm home, I'll still work from home on Mondays and Thursdays. I still go for my walk,
Hmm.
but it's a longer walk. It's an hour because I don't have to shower. Like
Hmm.
at work, if I'm in the office, I got to shower. Like I
Yeah.
don't want to go back to the office sweaty. So I can only do a 45-minute uh exercise, shower for 15 minutes, go back upstairs to at home. I walk for the entire hour. I walk in. I come back to my desk. I don't even shower after I get out. I don't even, I'm still
Hmm.
stinky until about 3 o'clock when the family starts coming back in. Then I take a shower.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I just don't like going like in the door, down the stairs to the desk. I need like 10 minutes in there where I can not be not worry about work. But
Yeah.
I've been listening to the Game of Thrones audiobooks while I walk.
Okay. All right.
I can get about 2 chapters on a 2 mile walk,
A lot of fun.
and then I can get three on a 3 mile walk. Some of those chapters are long though, so it's tough.
Hmm. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was good reading. It was good reading.
I loved reading them, but now I just like I don't want to sit down and read 1,000 pages of it because I've already read it before. But listening to
Hmm.
it, it's fine. And you got that Roy Dotrice who does the audio. Have you ever listened to the audiobooks?
Mm-mm.
Old guy and he does voices for everybody. So I think he holds the Guinness Book of World Records for the most voices in an audiobook. But like they all sound kind of the same, but he's got them all.
So how do you get that record? Do you just say, "No, this is a new character, new voice"? No, no, sir, that's the
You
same
know,
voice.
and
Just press a different
he's
name.
old and a little British, right? So it's like Sansa. But he pronounces names the way I would not. I've never read them that way. I never heard like Brienne is Brienne, and
Mm,
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
okay,
Daenerys. I'm just like okay,
okay.
it's just
All right.
yep, but it's fun. I do that. I'm still on the first book, so
Oh, okay. Oh, that book was good. That's a solid book.
I
That's
like them all actually. So
I like them all too, but the first one because I watched the series first and
hmm
then read the books and then realized how good the adaptation was.
yeah,
I was like, "Ooh!" But so book one, I do enjoy.
book one is probably one of the most faithful adaptations of a book to a
I've
TV
I've ever
ever.
seen,
Yeah.
ever seen. Yeah.
There's a few changes obviously because you got condensed characters. You can't have a
Hmm.
thousand characters all named with lines and stuff like that. But I mean, it's really good.
Book two, one, two, and three. It's all good. No, I'm
Yeah,
trying to think. That fourth one is a little bit slow because it's half of a
yeah.
book.
It's not all the characters everybody likes. It's like Sansa and
Because yeah, he basically took time. Time period is the same. So
hmm
book four and five is all the same things going on, just at different perspectives. So there's like no linear time. It's just happen at the same time. We get different people, which is different. And like you said, book four is some of the characters you don't really care too much
Reek.
about.
Yeah, Reek, Sansa. Who else is? I think Jon Snow is in book four. Um,
Arya is the only character who has a chapter in every book.
yeah, or
I
maybe
think
Jon
she
Snow's
has a
chapter.
chapter.
Does Jon Snow the pink? That must be the end of book five, where he gets stabbed. I can't remember
Yep.
what the end of book four is. It don't matter. Maybe book four is
I think
Daenerys.
I think in the book four is Cersei stuff.
Yeah, probably.
I think that's the Cersei stuff is in book of four, which is why I didn't dislike book
No, I like
four.
book four too. Book four
It's
must be
just,
Bran and Sansa and Cersei
hmm
and
I think
Marjorie. Maybe
yeah,
Does Marjorie have
I think
point of view chapters? I can't remember. It
yeah,
don't matter.
no, I keep seeing it's been coming along. The Winds of Winter timeline every
Uh,
so often.
I'm not holding my breath on that. But that's kind of why I'm listening to them again because I'm like, I like these books. I want to get refamiliarized with them. I want to kind of purge the show from my brain,
Yeah.
and then hopefully by the time I've done with five 40-hour audiobooks at an hour a piece, maybe the new book will be out.
He'll have 2 pages written in that
Yeah.
time. He was like, I wrote 2 pages, Derek, for you. Since you started.
200 flipping hours of audiobook.
My thing is, I bet he's got like thousands of pages already done.
I bet she does too.
And the editing or the fact that sometimes he'll probably do one thing and then now have to go back and retouch up a different story because he doesn't like it's probably just that. Just like a bunch of just thoughts down on thousands of
I bet you he
pages.
got like 1,000 pages in. It's like, I don't like this. Went back and started redoing stuff. And he's been doing that for like 20 years now.
Yep.
And it's
Yep.
just like, no, 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 maybe not this. No, not this. Okay, and it's been at least 15, right? So
Yeah.
that was
15. Well, no. Oh,
2007 was when
it's been no 2011, I think, is the last book.
Dance with Dragons, Dance with
Yeah, I
Dragons.
think it's 2011 because I was here in Austin at my second job
Mm-hmm.
when it came out. I think it's either 2011 2012, and he told us the book was only what 3 years away, four
Mm-hmm.
years away.
Yeah, I gotta look.
Yep,
It's a Dance of Dragons, right?
yep. Dance with Dragons came out 2011, July 12th.
Yeah. So it's old. The since that time, had a kid, had two kids, or
Mhm.
and they're almost grown up.
We've had the whole series be done by then.
TV
They
show, yeah.
start they've started a prequel.
Mm-hmm.
They started,
2 seasons of the prequel.
yeah, yes, 2 seasons. Oh, that was my wife's behind me. It's in the
It's not in the cabinet.
yes it is.
I want to check Julian's temperature.
Yes it is. I checked it. I put it on the top. It's just sitting on top of the medicine.
Oh, it's not.
No, it's on the it's in the medicine cabinet, yeah.
In the cabinet?
It's in the cabinet, yes. Looking for a thermometer for my son.
Mm.
So yeah. No, I remember it was I was working at Midnight Studios and just finished them all the books. And then I remember we got that almost the day it came out. Finished it,
Mm-hmm.
finished it shortly after. Didn't take long.
Yeah, I didn't. I wasn't even. I didn't even listen to the show until, or watch the show until, must have been 2012.
Hold on for a second. I gotta go downstairs.
Yeah, go for it.
Then they moved it because that's the last place I took Julian's temperature. No.
I did. I found
It's not every day you get to hit your wife with the "oh, you didn't move anything." This is what I got. It was it fell and she didn't move anything to see where it was at. So
Ah,
not every day you get to hit her with that one.
yeah. On this side, it's usually here. Let me find it for you. It's like Jesus Christ. I've looked everywhere. You think you're gonna look somewhere I can't find it? Here it is. Ah, God damn it! Every time. Doesn't matter what it is.
Mhm. Oh,
Unless it's something that like is really important. Oh, I threw that away. Like, why'd you throw it away? Why would I never throw anything away? Why'd you throw that away on me? What are you doing?
That's the thing. That's the thing. About it's your house, no one throws anything. In my house, don't put anything out and leave it out there for a day. It's thrown away. It's thrown away. My wife throws is a thrower thing awayer. Just like, did you see something I left on the table? Yeah, I threw it away. What? Why would you do that? I needed that. It's been sitting on the table for 2 days. That's the counter, the countdown.
My wife still has homework from college in binders.
I do too. I do too.
And and I'm like, why do we have this? I don't know. I just like, but if it's my stuff, You just get tossed. She still has like greeting cards from when she was like 10. Like, why do we have this?
I do too. I am the same way.
But if they're my things, they are quickly in the trash.
No, yeah, my wife doesn't do that sentimental with anything. She doesn't keep a lot of stuff. She'll pack her own stuff and throw it away. So imagine what she'll do to yours.
Mm-hmm.
What happened? I don't know. Hold on for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on for a second. No, one of y'all were playing with it.
How?
You just tap
How they jumping up there and put that?
with something.
That's dangerous. Have you been? They up there.
Yeah, well, yeah. Sometimes somehow the my attic space got put up open, but no one ever goes up there because there's no way to get up there. So it was weird, very weird.
That is strange. Maybe you have ghosts.
hmm So
Speaking of ghosts, that's got to be who's going to be under center for the Giants, right?
well, right now it's
The
Tommy
ghost of like
DeVito.
Y.A. Tittle or something like that. Like, who is going to be the Giants? I was really thought today we would know something.
Yeah, obviously, it's like you said. We're waiting on the Pittsburgh Steelers to figure out what's going on with them because
I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are screwed. In
you
my
think they're
opinion,
screwed
yes.
with their why?
Well, because here's what's left. I think the only desirable free agent quarterbacks that are left are Aaron Rodgers and Russ. If they wanted Russ, they would have already signed Russ,
Correct.
right? So there's Aaron Rodgers, but there's three teams potentially in the mix on Aaron Rodgers. One
I
being
just heard the Vikings.
the Vikings, the Steelers, and the Giants,
hmm
right? So let's say Rodgers decides I'm going to go to the Vikings because I'm going to be like Brett Favre, even though I hate Brett Favre.
Yeah, and I get to play with JJ and
On a team that won
Addison.
14 games last year.
Yep.
So why not do that in a
In
division that you're familiar with?
indoors.
Yeah, indoors, yep, all the good stuff. So Rodgers goes there, Russ goes to the Giants. What's left for the Steelers?
Guy in college.
Well, I mean,
You
they're not picking near the
Jackson
top. Though.
Dart. No, well,
Ooh,
Jackson Dart. But Rodgers should be somewhat. They have options. Like the list of players, the list of people, quarterbacks that are out there. It's not great, but there's a list of them.
yeah,
And the history of the Pittsburgh Steelers shows they would like to have a premium quarterback. They don't absolutely need a premium quarterback.
yeah. They reached out to Sam, not Sam Darnold, Mason Rudolph. That's where they're at right now.
Oh, I'd take Jameis once again over that. I'd throw a 1 year deal at Joe Flacco would be better. Wouldn't be a bad situation for them. Now none of these are long-term people, but none of the people that they're looking at right now are long-term. That's why it's for me, for them, it's someone in the draft, hoping that Shador doesn't check anyone's boxes and drops down to them wherever they pick.
Yeah.
Where do they pick?
I don't know. It's probably about 15 is my guess. No, they are at 21.
21.
But
Will he
here,
last that long? Maybe. No.
probably not.
No,
I mean,
because
so
I'm looking at the New Orleans Saints at 9.
yep. Saints at 9.
Vegas at 6.
Oh, Vegas has Geno now. They're not
They
necessarily
do. They
looking
do.
for a project now, but I think you get there, you get to
You don't, the Colts don't do it. The Colts just winning now. They've got two quarterbacks they're gonna do it, and they're not getting a quarterback this draft. This round.
no.
I would have thought that it possibly maybe someone just to compete with him, but not in the first round. Maybe a second or third rounder. But now they got Daniel Jones competing with Richardson for the starting role, if it's even a competition.
I don't know why it wouldn't be. Anthony
Because
Richardson wasn't very good.
he
Daniel
they
Jones,
they were almost a playoff team.
yeah, but he wasn't very good at being a quarterback. If he was good, they would have been a playoff team.
Well, someone could say the same thing about Daniel Jones.
Yeah, he wasn't very good either, right?
If he would have been good, but he was. I will say for the Anthony Richardson was leading his team to victories.
Not many.
May
of
not
them.
have looked pretty. May not have looked pretty. They
Okay.
won 8 games, didn't they?
I don't
They
know.
drafted him 18th, 14th. So
Yeah, they're 8 and 9.
yeah, they won 8 games. So
Yeah, they were in the mix there till the end, but they weren't really in the mix.
they weren't really in the mix. It was bad division and just weaker schedule that helped them get by. But still, I'm just saying. I think it's a competition at least. I don't think Daniel Jones is walking in there with a starting job.
No. Now, do you think that the Steelers expected Justin Fields, Daniel Jones, Josh Dobbs, Zach Wilson, Jacoby Brissett all to get scooped up on the first 2 days of free agency?
No,
No, probably not. I mean,
No.
here's what's left. This is literally the quarterbacks that are left in free agency. Aaron Rodgers, Trey
Uh-huh.
Lance, Taylor Heineke, Drew Lock, your favorite, Joe Flacco, Jameis Winston, Mac Jones, Carson Wentz, Case Keenum, Mason Rudolph, Easton Stick, Cooper Rush, Brandon Allen, Kyle Trask, Josh Johnson.
Wait. Cooper Rush and Trey Lance
Uh-huh.
are free agents.
Yes.
So there's no backup quarterback in Dallas?
Not right now, no.
Okay.
Josh Johnson, Kyle Allen, Russell Wilson, Teddy Bridgewater, who was like out of the league and then back in the league, C.J. Beathard, Tim Boyle, Tyler Huntley, Brett Rippon, Jeff Driscoll, Desmond Ritter, Bailey Zappi, and Sam Ellinger.
Oh, none of that's good.
No.
That's not true. That's not true. I think there's definitely some quarterbacks that you can be okay with running out there for a year or two.
Yep.
That Russ, the top 3 being Russ, Aaron, of course, and I think Joe Flacco, who's shown even at 40 he can still get the job done. And I would throw Jameis Winston in there.
Yeah, I
That's
mean, yeah, you
four-
can definitely throw Jameis Winston out there. I mean, it's not gonna be
Carson Wentz
great,
might not be bad. He was good at one point in time. Maybe he can be good again. Like, I don't know.
No.
But the rest of them are fairly young and did not have good success in many places. Cooper Rush did win games for them in Dallas.
Yeah.
He's a backup. I wouldn't try to elevate him to starter. That's basically what I mean. None of the guys except for the 4 that I mentioned are starter quality in the NFL. The rest are okay, nice to have if a guy goes down. Like Jameis and Flacco are the 2 backup starters that, like, if you have him as a backup, you're like, okay, that's not that bad. right?
Mm-hmm.
And if they need to start a few games, you're not that worried. You know they can run an offense. Like the rest of that list, I don't want it. I don't want to try.
No. And Russell Wilson is flying out to Cleveland tonight to meet with the Browns.
Yeah, he ain't gonna take that. No one should.
No, oh no human being should want to play for the Browns. That's why I was surprised when. I mean, I'm not surprised that the Browns threw all that money at Myles Garrett, and he took it because it was a lot of money.
There's a lot
But
of money.
the Browns aren't thinking big picture. They're thinking, I don't even know what they're thinking because we already talked about this. They should be trading him, and they should be accumulating draft picks.
But they couldn't trade him, like you said. They couldn't trade him until
They can't trade him now.
June.
Yeah.
Now they can't trade him, but they couldn't trade him to June.
Yeah.
So the picks that they would have won would have been in this draft.
Yeah.
And now they can't get him, so they're like, what do we do? What do we do?
I mean, they could trade him after June and just had those picks for next year.
Yeah.
I don't
And
know
then the team would have absolutely stunk this year.
Yeah, which they're going to probably anyway.
They got a chance. They don't. Not a good chance, but it's a chance.
Well, I mean, who's going to be their quarterback? I mean, it's not going to be Watson because he retore his
he
Achilles.
still got, yeah.
And so he's out. He's like 11 months from when he tore it again, which was in like January. So
Yeah, he's officially probably out again, unless
he'll
he's got
never
miracle.
play for the Browns again.
Well, yeah, that's if he's never playing for the Browns again, he may never play again.
Exactly. So I mean, he'll just retire, buy an island or two, and retire to that. So I mean, the Browns got nothing. Yeah, whatever. Aaron Rodgers and Russ are out there floating around, and I have a feeling, a sneaking suspicion, that if you wanted to, you could trade for Kirk Cousins.
That's what I was thinking to say as well too. That yeah, he's probably available if you put the right offer in front, which is probably just the second or third round.
Well, here's the thing: the Falcons aren't cutting them, and they're willing to take on. There's a $10 million guarantee that hits like in a couple days. They're like, whatever. I think that their every intention is to trade him, and they're just waiting for all the quarterbacks to shake out, and whoever is the most neediest at the end will.
They'll make a call to them like, hey, we got what you want.
it might be your guys, Joe Shane, making that call.
Man, so the two teams that are really in this thing is the Giants and the Steelers, right? I heard somebody saying they believe that Mike Tomlin is on the hot seat, right? And you hear it every time, but this quarterback decision kind of, I don't know if it's on him. I don't know how they do their thing. I don't know if the GM has actually decided that they were not going to give a deal to Fields and Russ was their guy, but they're not currently giving a deal to Russ. I don't know how that works, but they were saying that Rodgers probably helps him win now, but Rodgers also will get you fired as a coach. Right? He will get you fired as a coach. So, but they also said the way that I said it is also Joe Shane and Dayball are probably on the hot seat as well, right? It would take almost a miracle for both of them to keep their job. Maybe one, but for both of them to keep their jobs would be a miracle. So if let's say it's Dayball and they're both tied to these quarterbacks, Mike Tomlin loses a job, and maybe he gets hired immediately. Maybe he goes.
I don't think Mike Tomlin will ever get fired from the Steelers.
I don't think so either. But
I think he would have to go in and like throw Molotov cocktails at the training facility and burn the place down, and then he'd get a slap on the wrist, and then he'd have to go like to Heinz Field and like destroy that as well, like that's
Bane style.
Yeah.
Just detonate the whole thing.
Yes. That's the only way he's getting fired from that job.
No, you gotta have. Listen, I need someone in there because there's a good chance that the Giants are looking for a head coach at the end of the year.
There's a good chance the Giants are looking for both a head coach and a general manager.
And a general manager.
And whoever's taking over the job is probably inheriting a quarterback they drafted this year.
Yes, for sure.
And
for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. I don't know what the Steelers are thinking because they traded for DK Metcalf. They bring in DK
with no one to
Metcalf.
throw the ball to.
They give him a big extension. They don't even have a damn quarterback. I don't even know if they have a quarterback on the roster.
No, Pickett's gone.
Yep.
They probably got somebody because
Well,
the Giants got somebody. We good.
There's two Pittsburgh Steelers, former Steelers, that are free agents: Kyle Allen and Russell Wilson. Mason Rudolph was on Tennessee last year, so I don't know. Like, do they carry 3 quarterbacks? Maybe, I don't know. No, because Justin Fields is on
The Jets.
The Jets. So
The Jets.
that's their 3 quarterbacks from last year.
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know what their plan is, but they now trading for Tyler Lockett, it's an absolute waste. I wonder if they thought they were going to keep Justin Fields and they were just going to they were slow playing it, and then he ends up getting $40 million from the Jets, and he's like, peace.
The $40 million from the Jets in peace is weird to me
Mm-hmm.
because was the situation in Pittsburgh not as good? Did you go back to Pittsburgh like, hey, the Jets is offering me this, you guys want to match it? And he was like, nah.
I think that's what happened.
If that's what happened, that's telling against on Justin Fields.
Or the Steelers, one way or the other,
I don't know how it's telling against the Steelers. If they don't want to match,
I'm going to tell you what,
$20 million.
the Steelers have not been very good at having a quarterback since they got rid of what's his face,
Ben Roethlisberger.
Since Roethlisberger retired. Yeah,
but that's not. But filling the quarterback position is not an easy, task.
Yeah.
So you can't. I don't think one can be blamed for, because filling the quarterback position has a lot to do with your position in the draft and kind of luck. Like,
yeah, for sure.
They never pick high enough to be in the top group of quarterbacks. And if you're not in that top group, you're picking what's left over and hoping that you hit on one of those guys, right? If you're not in the top, it's difficult.
It's always difficult
to try to go and get that quarterback that if you don't have. So, and I think that's why the 49ers, not the 49ers, the Green Bay Packers are good. I'm sorry. They have addressed their quarterback situation before the quarterback situation needs to be addressed.
But I will also say this. They have gotten tremendously lucky. Both times.
But even then, some of their picks have made it to other teams and been starters. I remember at one point in time, I think they said they had, who was it that they had? They had a few people in their backup quarterbacks when Brett Favre was there. They just never got on the field, and they wound up going to other teams and actually having a starting.
The only one I could think of was, I think
Hasselbeck was one of them.
Hasselbeck was one who went to Seattle. Matt Flynn was another one that filled in but he went to Seattle, and then they drafted Russ that same year, and Russ, the 3rd round pick, beat out Matt Flynn, and then Matt Flynn I don't think has been in the league since.
But they have a tendency to pick quarterbacks even when they don't need them, then evaluate them while they can and determine if they're worth keeping them or not.
I've heard this from different people that you should take a quarterback every year in the draft.
I've heard that as well.
Doesn't matter what round it's in, just take one and see what you can get, because like the odds of landing on Tom Brady are slim, but you never know, right? Like, you just do it. And but still, the fact that they landed on 2 consecutive Hall of Famers, and now Jordan Love has been good. Right? Like, for that to happen is insanely lucky, because we're talking we're going on 4 decades. 4 decades of
how lucky is it? You take Aaron Rodgers, who slips all the way down to where he slips.
Okay, that's luck.
But no. Then you developed him, and then you realized that he was better than your starter.
There's still such a level of luck that happens. Like, how many Hall of Fame quarterbacks are there in football? There's not many, right? And they've had back-to-backs.
Correct.
Right? Because if it was easy to do, the Patriots would Mac Jones would still be there and take them to the Super Bowl.
But see, that's different. To me, that's different, because the Patriots didn't plan. There was no plan of action to replace this quarterback.
They took a 1st round quarterback, though, right? Like, if it was, If it
like
was
Steve
easy to do, there'd be 32 teams that have Hall of Fame quarterbacks.
Yeah, but they were forced to thrust that quarterback into the starting lineup without knowing if he was actually even good.
And he was
That's
a Pro Bowler the first year.
But he wasn't good.
He was a Pro Bowler.
He was one of those Pro Bowlers. Like, oh man, everyone decided they didn't want to play in the Pro Bowl this year.
No, I think
Like,
he was like the first vote Pro Bowl because he threw for like
I
3,500
saw
yards and 20 something touchdowns. They went to the playoffs.
this year the Pro Bowl. I remember seeing someone like, wait, what? The AFC? Yeah. No, it was the AFC. I think that had.
Yeah, there's always like Snoop Huntley was a Pro Bowl quarterback. He only played 6 games and threw for 1,000 yards, right? Like there's no reason he should have been a Pro Bowler.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Like it's just like so yeah, we give him Pro Bowl status, but I don't know if he really deserved it.
3,800 yards, 22 touchdowns, and they went to the playoffs his rookie year.
That's okay.
That's pretty good.
It's decent.
yeah, it's not bad. It's pretty darn good. 3,800 yards and 22 touchdowns. He was really good that rookie year. But I'm just saying there's a level of luck associated with it. Yes, okay, they developed the guy, whatever, right? There's a level of luck. There's so many teams that take so many swings on so many quarterbacks, and the Packers get 36 consecutive years of Hall of Fame quarterback play.
They've been fortunate enough to do it the right way. Right? That's how I look at it. Like you said, if you're drafting a quarterback every single year, or you're putting your hand in that draw every time, you're gonna pick some good ones. And if you can pick the good ones, keep them. And let's say, look at Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
The Patriots actually were picking good people. He had Matt Castle as his backup that went on to start in the league. He had Jimmy Garoppolo as his backup that went on to be a Pro Bowler and start in this league. Like they did it well. They just weren't prepared for the final to quit. That kind of hurt them. But I'm thinking,
even though Matt Castle and Jimmy Garoppolo aren't Hall of Fame quarterbacks,
even if
they would have stayed with New England, they wouldn't be Hall of Fame quarterbacks.
We don't know.
We
don't know.
I do.
We don't know. We don't know.
I do. I'm pretty positive with both of those statements.
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, now you're being ridiculous.
No, I'm saying it because I'm saying if Purdy gets drafted to any other team, is Purdy getting the contract that he had 3 years later, or 4 years later, getting the contract that he got just now?
No, because it's a perfect situation for him.
Exactly. So Jimmy Garoppolo and Matt Castle could have been better players in a better situation.
Better than Tom Brady?
No, not better than Tom Brady.
Okay.
I'm just saying they could. Who knows what their career could have been? They could have been perennial Pro Bowlers and possibly looking at a future Hall of Fame career. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying they could have went a totally different way because they were Pro Bowlers in other situations, but they didn't have the machine of the Patriots, which they were doing things. That's the reason Aaron Rodgers had the machine of the Green Bay Packers doing things.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not arguing with that. I'm just saying there's a level of luck associated with not whiffing on a single quarterback and getting 36 consecutive years. I'm not exaggerating on that because Brett Favre played for him for like 16 or 17, and Aaron Rodgers played for him for 18 or 19, and now you got 2 years of Jordan Love where it's competent. It's beyond competent. It's good to very good to outstanding quarterback play. That does not happen.
I was gonna say compared to blackjack, right? So in blackjack, there's luck involved. There's definitely luck involved. But let's say you went on a 36 hand streak. You can't. But see, you can.
36 hand streak. Now I've been on some hot streaks in blackjack, and I've won lots of money.
But you got to play. But you still have to play. The best. There's a smart way to play.
Yes,
and the smarter you play increases your chances of having those
still
runs.
Intense luck.
There's luck
because
involved.
The odds of winning at blackjack are still a loser's draw on the player's side. The house has advantage.
Mm-hmm. But you can run off 10 straight. You can run off 12
36.
straight. You can. 36 is a lot, but
yes.
But listen, not all of those 36 years were great. There
They're
was some stinkers in there.
36 is
There was
almost
some
like two
stinkers.
shoes of blackjack, right? They got 6 decks. You work through 6 decks, and you got to go through 6 decks again. It's not happening. It's just not happening.
I'm just saying that there's luck involved. I understand that there's luck involved, but you still have to make the right plays. You still have to. You
Well, I
still
agree
have
with
to
that.
do. There are teams that out there that don't do the right things.
Oh no, you
And
will
they-
you will not hear me argue against that. The Packers are a well-run organization. I hate them very much, and they're very good at being. It's just insanely lucky to hit back to back and potentially back again. I don't think Jordan Love is that, but we'll see. Right? Only time will tell.
So let's check this out. The 49ers had Joe Montana.
Mm-hmm.
Then they followed it up with
Steve Young.
Steve Young.
2 Hall of Famers back to back.
And then they followed it up with Jeff Garcia, who was a Pro Bowler,
Who was pretty good for a short amount of time.
Yes, so it could look like that was proper planning.
Yeah.
Proper planning led to that team being, and so it's we have teams that have done it. They have that we've seen them do.
But
Well, it's just those two. It's
but
just
Joe
those two.
Montana's career in San Francisco and Steve Young's career did not span 30 plus years.
No, because they kicked
right?
They kicked what's name
They
to the curb.
got
early.
rid of Joe Montana for Steve Young, and then Steve Young still
was already
had a,
old. He was
still had a Hall of Fame, because he played the Canadian League or whatever. Like
Mhm.
they didn't have nearly 4 decades of like no other team has done that.
Yeah, no, it's difficult. It's
Yes.
difficult to even think of because it's like how many times does a great retire that they just the team did it the correct way and drafted their backup, had their backup ready, waiting for them when they left.
But I'll argue that the correct way is the way that works, right? Because they traded for Brett Favre, right? They didn't
Yes.
draft him, and
They didn't draft him.
They traded for him for the Falcons, and then he became Brett Favre, right? And then so they did, and then they followed that up with Aaron Rodgers, and because that worked, then they have a little bit of hubris associated with it, like, well, I did it before, I'll do it again. So then they get Jordan Love, and.
But I don't think it's like I'm gonna look it up. Notable backups to Brett Favre. To Brett
Hasselbeck has got to be the most notable. Hasselbeck, then Matt Flynn, and then I don't know of any other backups beyond that.
Yeah. Oh, well, of course they gave you the 4 with AI. It just says Danny Warfel. This is not right. This is not a good thing. I'm trying to see because I remember he had a bunch that were decent. Kellen Clemens, Matt Hasselbeck is on that list. We know that. Who else is on there? Ty Detmer.
Yeah,
Mark Brunell, who had a good career with the Jags.
I think he went Jags and then went to Green Bay after that, because Mark Brunell, I think, was drafted by the Jags.
Just making sure. Yeah, Mark Brunell. It was his backup from 93 to 94. This list is not good. This is just these Steve Mariucci, Ty Detmer, and Mark Brunell talking.
Oh, you're right. So Mark Brunell was drafted by Green Bay in 1994 and then went to Jacksonville in 1995. So
For the expansion draft.
Yep.
Steve Bono.
Yeah.
Just look at what I'm saying is they've had solid backups even in the chain of Brett Favre being there. So I don't think it was a new thing when they didn't accidentally hit. It was just their planning actually it worked. Brett Favre was at the time when he was about to retire, and they had a decent backup that was waiting. I don't think anyone would have thought that Aaron Rodgers was going to have the Hall of Fame career he had. Right? He grew into that, I believe. So they cultivated him. Maybe he's not the same with them. We've seen him with the Packers, and we've seen him with the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
So we can clearly say he's not very good without the Packers right now.
even his first year at starter, they lost 10 games, but he threw for 4,000 yards and 28 touchdowns. So I mean, yeah, so that's fine. That's fine. I'm not arguing that Green
I
Bay
know.
is the bad organization. They're a fantastic organization. I wish the Bears were more like the Green Bay Packers. But I'm just saying it's insanely lucky. And getting a quarterback, getting a Hall of Fame quarterback, has a level of luck to it, similar to going on a run in blackjack, right? Like you said,
Uh-huh.
now 36 in a row is very very difficult. Even if you consider a push a win, you're not going 36 without losing. There's just no way it happens.
Like you could.
No. Okay. I bet there is some sort of like mathematical possibility of it happening, but it realistically isn't going to happen. Figure it out. What are the odds
I'm trying to see if I can find the
winning 36 hands of blackjack in a row?
Well, there's no official record of the absolute longest blackjack winning streak, with one person claiming to have won 15 hands in a row online, though some were pushes. So that's it. That's about all you can get.
All right. So here's somebody who calculated the odds of winning 32 games in a row
Mm-hmm.
because you have the blackjack house odds are 0.61. So 61% of the odds go to the house every hand. So that means 49% go to the player. And if you do that to the power of 32, you get, oh my goodness, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 zeros past the decimal point, 157% chance of winning 32 games in a row.
That sounds fun. This sounds doable.
But if you have $100, and you win, and then you just let it ride every time, you're 32 hands away from being a billionaire.
Billionaire. That's it. That's all you got. That's all it takes.
That's all it
32
takes.
hands straight.
Yep, just gotta do it. Not gonna happen though. So it's never gonna happen.
I don't know. I think it could. No, but yeah, the quarterback situation is difficult, and like the way it started is the Steelers. I don't know. It's difficult. It's not easy. They've been in a very bad situation. Can't say that they have not tried, because they have. They've drafted players, didn't work out. Free agency, they've picked players up, hasn't worked out. It's just not easy. So
No, it's not easy. If it were easy, everybody would have a Hall of Fame quarterback.
yeah. But no one does. There's a few out there.
The Giants have a quarterback on their roster,
We do.
Tommy DeVito.
do.
You re-signed him for a 1-year
We
deal.
re-signed him. Yep.
Re-signed Darius Slayton for 3 years, 36,
3 years, 36.
which is a lot of money for Darius Slayton. They got Emir Smith-Marset. They re-signed him.
Yeah, I don't even know who he was.
He was a special teamer.
Uh-huh.
They re-signed Chris Manhertz, the tight end.
Yep. Tight end.
I don't know who that is.
Blocking tight end.
They re-signed
also-
the punter,
Gillian.
Jamie Gillian. And they
The Scottish Hammer.
They
the Scottish
re-signed
Hammer.
the long snapper, Casey Creeter.
Uh-huh.
And then
Those were the signings on the roster.
Yep.
All fairly cheap. Their biggest signing so far is a cornerback from
Paulson Adebo
from the Saints. Then they gave 3 years, 50 million or something
3
like
years,
that.
54 million. He's coming off a broken leg.
Yeah, that's the biggest check that they've signed this offseason so far.
And then they gave Javon Holland, the safety from Miami, 3 years, 45, which are both big deals, I think.
Yeah.
Big secondary deals. That, I mean, if they play well, then that's good. They got a couple of offensive tackles, Stone Forsythe and James.
Most of the offensive tackles are depth guys.
Depth pieces. Yep.
They've picked up. They've realized that the offensive line cannot stay healthy, and we need to stop lying to ourselves and have backups just in case.
Yep.
And knows what these guys are. These guys are backup to the starter. I don't think any of them are in jeopardy of taking a starting position.
I
But
also, I also thought they're going to kick what's his face
to
into
guard,
guard. Yeah,
to
Evan
guard.
Neal. Right.
Yes, if and then that guy that they just picked up might be a nice tackle that they can move over, but they already had somebody that I think they have in mind that they can move the tackle. Uh, but yeah, I think it's good. The pieces that they have are good. They added some pieces on defense. I think they're fed up with Deontay Banks, which I think is a little too early. He did not have a good year last year. His rookie year was better,
Mm-hmm.
but like I said, that's also because there were totally a different defensive mind in the back there, right?
Yep.
You went from Wink Martindale to the other guy that they got this year, and they played two different defenses, and he was drafted for Wink's system. He was 100% drafted for Wink's system,
Yep.
and he played well in that system. So Deontay might just be the odd man out just because of the defensive changes, coaching changes. They've done okay. They've done okay. No big signings, and I didn't expect any big signings. Last year was their big signing with Brian Burns, who had a good season. Wasn't great, had a good season. Uh, I, like I said, the only thing they're missing from their checklist of things that they needed to accomplish this offseason is a quarterback.
The only thing, which is
That's
the
the only
biggest,
thing.
which is the
They've
biggest thing.
checked. They've checked every other box of players that they needed to address, positional players that they needed to address in this draft, and have not been able to get the quarterback just yet. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if the people that they wanted to just they didn't offer enough. I really don't know why. It's like I thought they'd be. I knew they wouldn't be aggressive because they weren't trying to set any markets with any of the players that they got. Like, so I knew they weren't going to be super aggressive in free agency this year. But I did hope that they would be day one or day two picks some way. And like I said, I still hold out. My thing was either Russ or Justin Fields. That was my thing. Whoever the Pittsburgh Steelers did not want, that is who I said would be a nice.
Turns out Steelers didn't want either one of them.
Turns out they don't want either of them. So Russ could still be an option.
Yep.
Who knows?
Unless he ends up on the Browns.
Unless he ends up on the Browns.
Russ might still be an option for the Steelers. Like maybe the tail between their legs sort of coming back to him. I don't know what they're going to do. I do think that the Adebo signing. Well, go ahead.
Do you think that is Brett Favre holding everything up?
Aaron Rodgers?
Do you think both Aaron Rodgers? Sorry,
yes.
Aaron Rodgers. Both teams have Aaron Rodgers as number one on their list.
I do think
he won't answer the question. He won't answer.
You know why? Because he's
the enigma.
He's gonna wait for a day when he's the news, right? The longer he holds out, the more chatter it is about Aaron Rodgers. He is an egomaniac, even though he talks about the death of the ego or whatever. He loves to hear his name talked about. He loves people talking about him. And he's going to wait till there's a slow news day or whatever, and then that'll be the day he comes out and says it. And it might be a couple weeks. And what might happen is teams might get tired of waiting for him and just do whatever. There's nothing like says he has to do it by a certain day, but there's
nope. Teams have got to have a deadline.
Yeah.
They have to have a deadline in their head. A soft deadline is like, listen, if we can't get this done, we got to go to plan B or figure something else out.
Yeah.
Or just get tired of being strung along. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is for me. No, I'm done. I don't want to deal with this.
Nope.
Russ, what are you doing?
Yep.
Jameis, what are you doing? That's my pick if we can't get Russ.
Falcons, what are you doing? Why do you have two quarterbacks? Why'd you sign one then draft one? It doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think the Adebo signing. Well, here's the thing that stinks about free agency. Is you always overpay. You have to
always.
There's
always.
No
that's
if you're signing.
That's why you want to get to free agency.
Yeah, if you re-sign your own guy or you trade for people, that's what you want because like super high quality players normally don't make free agency, right? Like especially at premium positions. Young guys, premium players at premium positions don't reach free agency. It's like offensive linemen, like the really good ones, they're always re-signed and retained. Or they're traded for. Like Laramie Tunsil got traded to the Commanders for some reason. I still don't understand that. But so I think the Adebo and Holland Debo is to me is like the riskier signing because he's come off that broken leg. Javon Holland. I mean, they might be nice secondary pieces.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
You're overpaying because there's not a lot of talent out, like you said, in free agency,
It's kind of a
right?
thin
So
free agent pool too this year.
I'm just saying in general,
Yeah.
like there's usually because like you said, people are resigning it. So if you can find someone who has tape that you really like,
Mm-hmm.
there's going to be other people who have seen that same tape and also really like them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when it becomes that competing, and that's when you wind up overpaying for a player.
Yep.
Happens every
I think every free agent
agency.
is. I don't want to say every because there's those diamonds in the roughs and those bargain bin guys that turn out to be really good. But the majority of like the day one, day two signings are usually overpaid.
You just hope he's worth his contract.
Yeah.
Like the chances of him exceeding it slim,
Mm-hmm.
but you just hope it's worth
Yep.
the contract.
Yep.
Right. Like Xavier McKinney's contract that he signed with whatever he signed, it was worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Like they're well, Saquon's contract actually found out it was less than
Yeah.
he exceeded his contract. As I said that he exceeded his contract.
And they gave him
So
so much more money, which is good for Saquon.
yes. But yeah, no, it's good. It's the free agency is going to be tough. I never like to see that my team builds the teams in free agency.
No,
I
you don't want it to be
hate
that
it.
way.
I absolutely hate it because that means we have nothing in the cupboards.
Yeah.
That means we've drafted poorly, right? Like
Which
that's
happens.
it happens. You get into a bad funk, and that's just it.
Yeah, the killer on that is the Giants haven't like dished out draft picks and trades either. Like they gave up like 1/3 for Darren Waller. That's the only trade I can remember where they gave up like
Mhm.
a premium pick. Like they've been more of a pick accumulator over the last 5-6 years. They just haven't done anything of note with them.
Mm-hmm. No, so I'm interested. I'm interested in seeing what happens because time's running out.
Mm-hmm.
Time's running out. Just draft, but every day that they don't have a quarterback tells me that they're willing to give up the farm for someone in this draft to get to
Mm-hmm.
number one. Every day that they don't have a quarterback means the value of number one goes higher.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Like, and they're doing that to themselves
Mm-hmm.
by not having somebody there because we can smell the desperation on you. We can,
It's getting there. Yeah.
so like I don't know if anyone else has more desperation on them than the Giants. Looking at this list
Yeah, I don't think so
of
either.
the Jets, who was possibly in that list, picked a guy up.
Yep. Raiders got Geno Smith.
Raiders, who wanted a guy, picked a guy up.
Yep.
The Jags are the Jags. Panthers, the Saints haven't done anything.
Well, they
And-
had to restructure Derek Carr's contract, which kind of makes them committed to Derek Carr just because of the way the money had to be moved around. Otherwise, they were going to be over the cap again. Like that team cracks me up because like they just constantly kick cans down the road and they're stuck with contracts and guys they don't want anymore. Like Taysom Hill will be on the Saints until he's 60, I think. And it's just
Yeah.
how it's going to go.
then you got the Bears, not desperate. San Francisco, not desperate. Dallas, definitely not desperate. Miami Dolphins may look for a
Mhm.
quarterback.
Maybe the
Indianapolis
Colts.
Colts at 14. You would think that they would, but they're not desperate enough to move any spaces. None of these people are desperate enough to move up to get
Mm-mm.
anybody.
Not
If
Atlanta,
something-
not Arizona, not Cincinnati, not Seattle. They just paid Sam Darnold, which I don't know
100
why.
mil, right?
3 years, 100 mil. I don't know why they traded Geno Smith. Like I get like the idea. Oh, we're gonna get younger, but Sam Darnold isn't better than Geno Smith. I don't know.
No.
And they got rid of DK Metcalf, and they let Tyler Lockett go. So they have Jackson Smith and Jigba and Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold.
I guess it'll work.
Mhm.
Tampa Bay's got Baker. Denver's got Bo Nix. Pittsburgh is the only other like really quarterback needy team on this on the.
And I don't think they'd have to give up their first this year,
Mhm.
first next year because 21 is a very far drop.
Oh, if they're trying to
If
jump to one.
I'm just talking about teams that want to jump. want to jump up to get the quarterback that they need or want.
If the Steelers are trying to jump up to number one, they have to give their first this year, their first next year, the first the year after that as well. Plus probably a second round pick this year, a second round pick next year, and a third round pick the following year. That's just such a huge jump for Tennessee to go, well, we're willing to drop from 1 to 21.
Yeah.
And
It'd be a lot.
Yeah.
It would
And
be
I mean,
a whole lot.
Tennessee's kind of quarterback needy. Depends on what they think of Will Levis. Cleveland is quarterback needy, but they
need a lot.
They need a lot. Yeah. That's why I don't know why they're not accumulating picks. So
yeah,
we'll see what the Giants do. I want to talk about what the Bears did this week, though, because it was pretty darn good, in my opinion.
Giants also did get the 99th
I
pick.
saw that as a comp pick. That's not bad. They got
I figured that they would have a comp pick in that third round on the top 100. So it gives
getting
them
that top 100. That's not too bad.
Mm-hmm.
So the Bears go out and they get a tight end, Durham Smythe. I never heard of the guy, but I guess he was in Miami when Ben Johnson was in Miami like 7 or 8 years ago. So they got him. They traded, like we talked about last week, for Jonah Jackson and Joe Tooney. Those trades were official today. And then they signed center Drew Dahlman to a 3-year, $42 million deal, who was one of the top centers in football last year, Pro Bowler as well, from the Falcons. So in the course of like 7 to 10 days, the Bears went from the picture of last year when all their offensive line was laying on the ground to having Pro Bowler, former Pro Bowler, and first team All-Pro the last 2 years at his position in Joe Tooney on the interior, which is outstanding. It's just like, I'm excited now. It's an off-season win. It doesn't amount to on-field wins, but it makes me feel good now. They went out and addressed edge. See, here's one of those overpay, hoping we're getting a 25-year-old dude on the upswing, former second-round pick from the Colts, Dayo Odeyingbo. They gave him 3 years, 48. He's 25, 6'6", super long arms, super athletic freak. They're hoping that...
What was the sack numbers?
Like pedestrian, 7 or 8, I think it was what it was, maybe. The guy that the Bears let go, DeMarcus Walker, they cut him. They had the same numbers. However, DeMarcus Walker's 32 years old, so they're hoping for the 25-year-old kid to like hit his stride and get and be in his prime and be a force in what's his face's defense. They also got from the Falcons Grady Jarrett, defensive tackle, who is a little bit older, but he's a beast still. I like him. And then they re-signed a couple of special teamers, and that's it. And a long snapper. That's all the Bears have done, but it's enough. And now it leaves them. It leaves them sitting at the draft. They still need a legitimate third wide receiver. I think they still need a legitimate second tight end. I don't think Durham Smythe is that. Maybe he is. I don't know. I like, you would think that if he was a legitimate option as a tight end, you would remember him from fantasy football. From like one of the weakest positions in fantasy football. I'd be like, well, I got Durham Smythe and he got me 8 points this week. Pretty good. I don't remember him. So, but it leaves them.
Evan Ingram got picked up by the Denver Broncos.
Yes.
So he's a tight end that I know he's a giant.
I was surprised.
He's one of those guys.
Yeah. I think he's a little bit pricier than what the Bears wanted to spend on a second tight end.
He's always pricey. I don't understand. He got too much from the Jags.
A couple of Pro Bowls.
Yeah. Got stone hands. When you need him to catch, he does not.
Well, when you need him to block, he blocks, I guess.
No, he's not very good at that either.
Okay, well, he did something right for a couple years. All I'm saying is the Bears, I said it last week, I said if they can figure out the offensive line that leaves them open in the draft, they can do whatever they want. And now I want them to get Ashton Genty at 10. I don't care if it's a dumb pick. I don't care if you shouldn't pick running backs in the first round. He is probably the best at his position in the draft out of everybody at their positions in the draft. Like his skill level at his position is better than any other player as far as prospect goes, is at their position. Like there isn't a quarterback that's better at quarterbacking in this draft than Ashton Genty is at being a running back. There isn't a rusher, an edge that's better at being an edge than Ashton Genty is at being a running back. He's a bruiser. I like him. He's from Boise State. That makes him interesting, I think. He's got a fun last name, Genty. It looks like Genty, but it's not. It's Genty. That's all I want. That's all I want. There. I want sexy tools now.
That's a decent pick.
I like it.
Looking at the draft, at where people might go, Tennessee's not picking a running back. Cleveland's not picking a running back. Giants are not picking a running back. Patriots are not picking a running back. Jacksonville,
No.
maybe. You don't think so?
I think the only
they've got Etienne still.
Yeah, and I think and they took Tank Johnson a couple years, Tank Bigsby, 2 years ago. I think the only person that might take a running back would be the Raiders.
That wouldn't be their number one. They got holes.
Mm-hmm. I'm just saying that would be the one that I think. But I think if he gets to 10, I think the Bears take him, and that would make me excited. Now, if you talk to Bears fans on like Reddit or online, they'll call you an idiot for saying that.
Could you trade down?
Well, it requires somebody wanting to trade up, and I don't know. The draft doesn't have that like high caliber attraction in the top 10 like other drafts do. It's kind of like a steady flow of talent. That the difference in talent between 10 and 50 is probably not as big of a jump as you'd think it is. So
there's going to be people who have guys on their board that they want to get to before that. So that like, you think you can get? What I'm saying is, you could probably get Ashton Genty lower.
Well, if he gets to Dallas at 12, do you think he gets past Dallas at 12?
Dallas needs an offensive line.
Yeah, they've got problems too.
They need an offensive line. DeMarcus Lawrence, they need a defensive line. They need an offensive line. If you remember how you said, if you guys get everything taken care of, then you can get your running back.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have everything taken care of.
Mm-mm.
They don't have everything taken care of. They don't have a running back. Rico Dowdle just went to he just went someplace today. Carolina, the Panthers.
And they just have too many running backs. I think they signed somebody. They signed Javonte Williams.
Who?
Javonte Williams from the Broncos.
Used to be the running back at the Broncos, yes.
Yeah, and he had a really good rookie season, and he tore his ACL. And last year he came back from it, and they gave him a 1-year, $3 million deal.
Yeah, I still think that they don't get him. And then you're looking at the Dolphins, who they're not Mostert. The Colts, Jonathan.
Well, Miami let Mostert go, but they still have Achane, and they had the guy that drafted.
Yeah,
they had the guy they drafted last year too.
Yeah, Achane. Colts have Jonathan Taylor,
and just signed Khalil Herbert today.
Yeah, Falcons have Bijan. Arizona Cardinals, maybe.
No,
but John Connor had a really good year.
And they drafted that dude last year too. They got 2 number 1 running backs. Cincinnati is good. Seattle keeps drafting running backs, and so they're good. Tampa Bay is fine because they got Bucky Irving last year, and he turned out to be really good. The Broncos might be a spot that would take them because they don't really have a running back.
Pittsburgh, maybe.
Pittsburgh still has
Najee.
They have Jalen Warren still.
Oh, none of these guys are.
Najee Harris signed with the Chargers, which I think is a really good pickup for the Chargers.
No, this, like I said, I if somebody saw a player that they wanted to bounce up, I don't think you would have a problem getting Genty lower in the draft.
I don't
10
think
10's a good spot for him though.
Yep.
10 is not a bad spot for him.
But I'm all for it. If the Bears, let's say Arizona comes calling, they're like, we want to jump up from 16 to 10, and we'll give you a third this year and next year second. It was like, yeah, do it. Why not? Because, like you said, I think whatever happens, they got plenty of opportunity now because they took care of their biggest needs. Now they're looking for to me, Genty is a bit of a luxury pick at 10 because he's a running back. But I mean, I like nice things, so do it.
But the thing that I don't hate, but people say it's a luxury pick. Well, you need a running back, right?
For sure. Well, they have DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, but if you can, Like the whole, I'm pretty sure they have a position, they have a player at every position that they're going to draft at.
Oh
The
yeah, for
point
sure.
is, the point of getting better players,
Yeah.
right? So when people go, "Oh, it's a luxury," I need one, and
Hmm.
this guy's better than the guy that I
For
currently
sure.
have.
If you have the opportunity to get the best player at a position, you should probably do it, right? Like, uh,
Unless your need is quarterback, and you're
yeah,
fishing for a quarterback, and some people that's honestly that's how offensive line, but that low you wouldn't be getting anything great. But
yeah, it's a guard heavy draft. Not a lot of tackle talent in this one, so I don't know. I'm just saying if Genty hits you at 10, I have a hard time passing on it, particularly since they I'm really tired of hearing this word, but they addressed the trenches.
Mm.
Trenches, trenches, trenches. That's all I hear.
did they on one side of the ball? What about defensive
They
tackle?
they got a defensive tackle. They got the good dude from the
You
Falcons.
said they got. You said they got an. Oh yeah, he's good. He's decent.
Yeah,
You
he's
said they
nice.
got that
And then they
young
get,
guy who may be good, may
yep,
not
and they,
be.
they still have guys that they drafted the last couple years, but this draft is also deep in defensive line. It's tackles and edge rushers are deep. So I mean, and the Bears have 3 picks in the top 41. So you're good. There's plenty of opportunity there because they have Carolinas and their own second rounder this year. So I like it. I like what's happening. I don't want to. There's this too because being a Bears fan, you can't be genuinely excited for something. You have to be like ironically
A little
excited for it.
pessimistic.
Yeah. So everyone's like, "Oh, we're the 3-time off-season champions." Blah blah blah. I'm like, well,
Never say that again.
no, yeah, stop saying that. Yeah, exactly. You sound like a dumbass. So
Rodgers a free agent for the first time as Jets cut QB. Wait, but he was not a free agent up until
nope,
just now.
never been a free agent. Drafted by Green Bay, traded to the Jets.
Traded.
This is the
I
first.
mean, I assumed that he was a free agent already. I assumed that they cut him already.
Nope, they didn't cut him till today.
Mm.
And he's a post June 1, so they have to carry his cap hit until June 1, and then they can split it up over 2 years. So they save a little bit. They save, instead of saving 0, they save 7 million. But I mean, it was an exciting free agency start. I think there was some interesting action that happened this last week. A lot happened over the course of like 2 days with Geno Smith getting traded, DK Metcalf getting traded,
Yep.
Josh Allen
What's
getting a 6-year, $330 million extension with 250 guaranteed. That's a big move.
Yeah, there was a what's his name went to DeAndre Hopkins to the Ravens. What do you think about that?
So somebody found a picture that D Hop posted on his Instagram from like 7 years ago. It's like how many touchdowns would this team score? And it was Lamar, D Hop, and Derrick Henry.
We'll see now.
And now they're also all 7 years older. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
The Patriots went out and overpaid for a bunch of people, so that's good for them. They had a lot of money to spend.
Yeah.
They went after a tackle, went after an edge, Harold Landry. They gave Milton Williams from the Eagles 4 years, 104, and he was a rotational piece. But he's a young guy, maybe he fills that spot they need him to fill. A lot of money. Eagles lost a lot of players the last week.
Which happens.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
either you overpay or you lose.
Yeah.
Just be surprised they didn't lose coaches again.
Yeah, no coaches this year, but they did lose Milton and Sweat off the defensive line. I think they lost an offensive lineman. No, maybe not.
The offensive lineman retire.
Yeah. But they traded for one too. So from the damn Texans, the Texans had a pretty bad offensive line last year. Like pretty bad. And then they got rid of Tunsil, who's one of the best offensive tackles in the game.
That's just pieces, right? That's the same thing. Miami did the same thing. We was like, why is Miami trading Larry Tunsil? He's all pro.
Yeah.
Right? It's just that sometimes you can they're almost getting back almost exact. No, they lost them. I think a first round when they traded for Larry Tunsil the first time.
Mhm.
But it just seems like Larry Tunsil's is be like the picks that you get for him, you wind up getting him back when you trade him eventually.
Yeah, because you don't want to give him the offensive tackle resetting of the money deal that he's probably going to get.
And last year he was having injury issues. He's
Mhm.
starting to get up there a little bit. He's having lingering issues that's keeping
He's
him
not
out
that
there a
up there. I
couple
think he's only
games.
27 or 28.
That can't be true. It felt like 10 years ago he was smoking that through that mask and he had draft. He's played on two
Oh,
teams.
he's 30. Okay.
It feels like that was forever ago.
It was forever ago, but he's only 30.
Yeah.
And offensive line, we talked about last week, they could play
35.
35, 40,
Mhm.
65, 70. Who knows? I was
Yeah,
trying.
but
Okay.
he seemed like he's been slowing down. Like last year, he just didn't have enough games played, and just didn't look the same for the Texans he's his All Pro self has looked.
He'll still be okay. I have faith in him. Let's see.
I know I try not to hate on the teams that I hate,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm really trying not to hate on the Cowboys as much. But what are they doing?
I don't know.
What do they do? They don't do it. It's like they just exist as a team now.
Yeah.
I no longer see them trying to get better. They just exist as a team. DeMarcus Lawrence is not gonna leaving is it will be missed. I don't know what people it will be missed.
For a team that couldn't stop the run with DeMarcus Lawrence, what are they going to be without him?
And now I can definitely focus on Micah Parsons because Dexter Lawrence was a monster coming off that edge. And they used to come off the same side. Right? So and they gotta pay Micah. They're just slow playing it, but they're gotta pay him, or they trade him, or trade him. And that's what you keep saying. But you gotta do something. So, if you're gonna trade him, it should be like right now we're talking. Like when you can get number one picks. It should be now.
I'm looking at the list of Cowboys
acquisitions.
Yep. They signed Javonte Williams. Okay. They signed Robert Jones, offensive guard, to a 1-year deal. Don't know where he's even from. They signed
Tampa Bay?
Maybe. They signed edge rusher Peyton Turner to a 1-year, $3 million deal. They signed defensive lineman Osa. Oh, they re-signed Osa Odigba.
Yeah.
4 years, $80 million, which is quite a bit. They signed defensive lineman Solomon Thomas, who I'll remember as being the person the 49ers traded after they traded the number 2 pick to the Bears. They drafted Solomon Thomas, and after the Bears drafted Trubisky. They acquired in a trade with the Titans Kenneth Murray Jr., linebacker. They acquired in a trade with the Bills Khair Elam, cornerback, who's a pretty good quarterback. They re-signed cornerback C.J. Goodwin, re-signed Marquise Bell, safety, re-signed long snapper Trent Siege, re-signed punter Brian Anger. Well, that's a fun name. And re-signed kick returner wide receiver Cavante Turpin. That's what they've done. Which doesn't feel like a lot.
Not for a team that was missing a lot.
Yes.
Like they're not used free agency to get auxiliary pieces, right? They're missing some solid players, like all across the board. The positions that they are not missing are the positions that hold up $150 million in salary cap or more, right? They've got Micah Parsons. They have CD Lamb. They have a quarterback, and for what it's worth, they have a cornerback who's taking up a lot of money. But besides those positions, they are devoid of talent. Their future Hall of Fame offensive lineman Zach Martin retired.
But what stinks for that is he still counts at 10
because they always keep kicking it down.
I mean, they
Yeah, but
restructured Dak, so now he's only a $52 million hit on the cap this year, as opposed to the 80 or 90 what he was. Um, I mean, I'm looking at the Cowboys; they have 53 million in cap space, and I don't think all the signings are on there yet or official. Like they have opportunity to do stuff. There's not. I don't know. And this is
nope.
Micah's last year on his deal, 24 mil.
It needs to get. It needs to be.
He needs
It,
that
he,
extension.
he needs the extension.
I almost half expected him to get traded this last week, and he didn't. So I was surprised.
I don't know. It's when your GM is the owner, there's no way he could be on the phones making phone calls.
Mm-mm.
Right? He's got to be the assistant. There's got to be an assistant GM doing all the work.
Yeah.
And
You'd
then
think.
bringing deals to him that he's just going, nah, I don't like that player.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, but we don't have any backup quarterbacks. We need somebody.
Nah.
I don't like him.
I need a glory hole quarterback.
What's Tony doing? Tony's in the booth. He's not coming back out.
Who can we trade for that is terrible at somewhere else? Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. I enjoy it. I enjoy the Cowboys feeling like they're floundering or looking like they're floundering, which they are. I really thought Micah was going to get traded this last week, but he didn't. So maybe they'll figure something out for him.
I'm at the point where I'm starting to feel bad for the Cowboys.
Oh, don't.
And I'm a Giants fan. And we stink.
Yeah, don't.
Right? But at least I can see us trying, whether the moves that we make are working or work. At least there's effort in trying to find the people, right? I feel like Jerry is not putting in the effort or the work to make that team better.
I think it's like you said.
That's the part that sucks.
Yeah, he's old. He doesn't have time. He's doing other stuff. He can't be doing the GM work. So you're right. It probably all does follow on assistant GMs or whatever or other guys. But he still has
final say.
He's got final say, right? So and he doesn't know.
Your job is to convince him that this guy is the guy that we should go after. But who's there to convince him, tell him that we need to pay this guy now versus paying him tomorrow or paying him next year? Like,
they've biffed on that pretty bad. They almost as bad as the Bengals have. Them and the Bengals have been the worst at watching the price tag on their star players just keep going up, thinking they're being shrewd or it's a negotiating tactic. Like the Bengals are in a flippant bind now because they got T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. And
T. Higgins making more than Jamar Chase right now.
Yeah, and they said we're working on Jamar Chase. We'll make him the highest paid non-quarterback in football. Well, that distinction now goes to Myles Garrett, who's making a
40 mil,
a god awful amount of money. Yes. So what are they going to do? I mean, they're going to pay him $40 million a year. That's $6 million more than Justin Jefferson gets.
You can't.
No.
You can't give him that much. If you give him that much, if you give him 40 mil, why did you T. Higgins has got to go. You can't have both, you can't have 75 mil because T. Higgins is going to want close to 30 mil.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have
probably
70
get it
mil.
wherever he goes. Yeah.
Yeah. You can't have 70 million tied up in 2 wide receivers. You just can't do it.
And then another 50 million tied up in your quarterback.
Yeah. No, it's just not. It's just
that's like 60% of the cap. Like,
and the thing is, they'll probably try to do it 1 year, right? You know what I mean? Like this year will be the year that they do it. They've got to sign Jamar, and they've got what's the name for like what 25 now? I think his franchise tag was like 25 or 28, something crazy,
something like that. Let's see, I can pull that up real fast. The Bengals right now, T. Higgins is $26 million on the cap for the second year
franchise.
So they got Burrow at 46. This is the cap number this year. Burrow at 46, T. Higgins at 26, Jamar Chase at 21. And then they have Trey Hendrickson, who was the sack leader last year, and who either wants a trade or extension, and he's at 18.6. Like
I'm getting rid of him. My defense has not been up to snuff. I'm getting rid of him.
I don't know what you can do. I don't know what this team's doing. But I mean, they could have taken care if they wanted to keep Higgins and Chase. They could have done that 2 years
2 years
ago,
ago.
and
2 years
and
ago.
not had to worry about this stuff. They could have let Jamar Chase reset the wide receiver before
JJ.
JJ.
But I
Not
think I think Jamar didn't want to go before JJ.
no, probably
And
not.
he had that ability to just sit it out.
Hmm.
He knew that just in the way they were drafted, that JJ was gonna have to go first.
Let's see. I'm going to pull up the top wide receiver contracts. So now you're looking at
JJ,
Justin
CD.
Jefferson. Justin Jefferson's 35 mil a year, total value 140, guaranteed 110. CeeDee Lamb 34 a year, 136 total value, 100 guaranteed. AJ Brown, who's probably going to be looking for a new deal soon, is 32 a year, 96 total value, 84 guaranteed. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 30 million, 120 value, 77 total guaranteed. Tyreek Hill, 30 million a year, 54 guaranteed.
He
Ayuk,
wants a new
30 million a year,
contract.
76 guaranteed. Jalen Waddle, 28 and a quarter a year, 76 guaranteed. DJ Moore, 27 and a half, 82 guaranteed. Cooper Kupp, who's a free agent now, doesn't count. Then you got T Higgins, who's at 26 million. And on the tag, and then you got Devontae Smith, who just got a new deal at 25 mil a year, 69 guaranteed. Like, if I'm Jamar Chase, I want nothing less than at least 120 guaranteed. So
30, 37, 35. If they could get him for 36, a mil more than what JJ makes,
they're lucky.
they're lucky. Yes.
Now T Higgins isn't going to want to take less than 26 a year because that's what he gets on the tag.
Yeah, I think the yearly money is not as much as the security.
Yeah, you want the guaranteed,
guaranteed,
the
right?
bigger guaranteed money. That's why I think Jamar Chase wants in that 120 to probably 130 mil guaranteed, and I bet you T Higgins is probably going to want 80 million.
90, 90, yep.
80 million is what AJ Brown got guaranteed. There's only two receivers that have more guaranteed money, and that's CeeDee Lamb and Justin Jefferson. So,
And by franchising him for the second time,
yes,
they can't do it a third.
no, I mean they can.
I thought you can't be
No,
franchised
you
3 times.
franchise tag 3 times in a row.
Then that's what is it? 200% the
Yeah, I don't know what it goes.
because I think it's like 150.
it goes up a ton. Yeah. So then you're probably looking at 30 million. It's just to franchise tag him again, and you can't do anything about that. That's just a $30 million cap that you have to take. You can't spread that out or anything. So
Yeah,
Yep.
no, but on the open market, what is he? He sits in between Devonta Smith, above Devonta Smith, below
DJ Moore.
DJ Moore. You think below DJ Moore?
I mean, that's where he's at right now.
I'm
with
talking
the
about
franchise.
like on an open market.
Oh
On
yeah,
an open market where he can go any team he wants. He can be the number one quarterback because right now, number two paying him, he's going to get paid like a number two. So he's not going to reset anymore. But if he goes to another team, he could be their number one.
yeah, he might get DJ Moore money or Jalen Waddle money.
AJ Brown numbers was AJ 32.
32 and 84 guaranteed. Jalen Waddle is at 28 with 76 guaranteed.
I could see him getting.
DJ Moore's 27 and a half with 82 guaranteed.
I could see him getting close to 30 than some of those guys to be a number one on the team on a free agent market where other teams will be bidding for his services.
Would you rather have Brandon Ayuk or would you rather have T Higgins?
Brandon Ayuk.
I'd say I'd go T Higgins.
Isn't Brandon Ayuk a little younger?
Nope. They are T Higgins is 1 year younger than Brandon Ayuk. But I think T Higgins is a better receiver, and Brandon Ayuk is got that deal, the new deal from last year, 30 year with 76 guaranteed. I think if I'm T Higgins, I want like that money.
Yeah.
At the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Bengals are just dumb. I don't know what the
They're
Bengals are doing.
They're not
Cowboys
bright.
dumb. Yeah.
The the San Francisco 49ers has been slow playing this Brock Purdy deal.
Yes, they have.
Where they let everyone else leave
They got
the
rid of
team.
everybody so they free up money for Brock Purdy, which I get. Like, you have to do it. Like, if you want it. Now, here's the thing: would Brock Purdy get that money elsewhere? Maybe. I don't know what the money is yet, though. But somebody would pay him.
Brock Purdy, a quarterback on the free agent market that has taken his team to the NFC Championship
And Super Bowl
multiple times and Super Bowl
in 3 years. Yes.
in 3 years would get paid.
Yes. And Brock Purdy's 25 years old. He's played 3 seasons and has gone to the NFC Championship and Super Bowl in 2 of those 3 seasons.
Would get paid
Yeah, for sure.
by a lot of teams.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Would he be as successful somewhere else? I don't know.
don't know, but he's gonna get paid.
He is going to get paid.
He's gonna get paid.
Yes, he
So,
will.
There's a lot going on. Yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to the draft. I'm just waiting to see the headline. Not the headline that says who the Giants get as quarterback, but the Giants have traded up to get to the number 1 spot. That's the headline I'm waiting for.
That's going to be a fun hit. I'm very excited to see what the Giants do. I'm just very excited. I want to see what happens. I think it's going to be interesting. I don't know if it'll be good, but I think it'll be interesting.
If they don't trade up, they got to trade down.
You got to get somebody that wants to trade up to 3, though. I imagine somebody would trade up for
Travis Hunter
or Abdul Carter. Because
Yep.
if, let's say the Titans do go Cam Ward and the Browns do go Shedeur Sanders,
Yeah.
then you got Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter. You could definitely get somebody to trade up for that,
Mm-hmm.
I would think. Or you just take one. Take one or the other. I think it would be Travis Hunter.
Yeah. Then they're definitely taking Jackson Dart in the 2nd round.
If he even makes it to the 2nd round.
If he makes it to the 2nd round. That's why if you want to, that's why I say trade down. Like trade down, because no one's trading up to get to Jackson Dart at 3. Right? Then it makes it a little bit more palpable if you get him mid
What if
first
they
round.
take Jackson Dart at 3, though?
Then I'm not a fan of that.
I wouldn't be either.
I'm not a fan. You could have probably traded down with someone if someone wanted to come up. And you could have probably taken him mid first round because he's need, even though I don't think he's a first round draft. I wouldn't be upset, especially if you got to pick another pick for it. Like, say you traded the number 3, got somebody's 14, or where the Colts are 14, right? Whatever.
It don't
I don't
matter.
see-
Middle of the
doesn't make a
first, and you pick him a 2nd.
Middle, exactly. And you pick up a 2nd, and you take Jackson at 14, but you got another top 100 pick in number 2. I'm okay with that.
What about Jalen Milroe?
I don't know. Alabama quarterback.
Like in the 2nd.
2nd, I might take him in the 2nd. I just at this point in time with the Giants sitting there getting 2 cornerbacks in free agency, that basically just said we're not getting Travis Hunter. Kinda, in my opinion, right? Or if you're getting him, you're seeing him more as a wide receiver, which I don't see him at that. Man, I think weighs 185. He's skinnier, but he's tall. But I don't know. But that Giants getting 2 cornerbacks kind of lets me know that maybe they're out on Travis Hunter. So we'll see.
Never know. I don't know.
Yep.
It'll be interesting. I am excited to see what happens. Thing is, we got like when is the draft? April something. We got like a little bit over a month now. NFL draft
April 24th.
April 24th. Yeah. So we're looking at a month and 2 weeks.
Will
There's
take
nothing
place in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Oh God, which is like the worst town on the face of the earth. Like there's nothing. Like I said last week, there's nothing there. I don't know what people are gonna do.
There's Titletown and the research complex.
I've been to Titletown and the research complex. There's nothing. It's not that exciting.
There's a lot of research going on, obviously.
Obviously, yeah. There's a hotel there. There's a big sledding hill, which you're not going to do anything in April on. There's places where they put an ice rink, but they're not gonna do anything with that in April. So who knows? Uh, yeah, but it's in Green Bay, so that sucks. That sucks for everybody that has to go to it. I feel bad for them. I feel bad for the prospects. I'm happy for the prospects that aren't going because they don't have to go to Green Bay.
I'm looking at Daniel Jeremiah's top 50 prospects 3.0, and I'm just looking at the top 10 on his list. And he's got 2 tight ends on that list.
It's a good tight end draft too. Yeah.
Listen, I don't want to take a tight end in the top 10 picks.
No.
I don't want to end I don't want to be I don't forgot his name. Dude in Atlanta.
Oh, Kyle Pitts.
Kyle Pitts. He was drafted 4th. I don't want to be him.
Mm-hmm.
But Brock Bowers was drafted in last year's draft pretty high.
Yep.
Solid.
He's
really good.
He's really good. But the Raiders also took Michael Mayer the year before, in like the top 15, and they're trying to move him.
Yeah, he's got Abdul Carter number 1,
Mm-hmm.
Travis Hunter number 2, Ashton Genty number 3, Mason Graham defensive tackle for Michigan 4,
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Warren tight end from Penn State 5, Colston Loveland tight end from Michigan, Jalen Walker from edge from Georgia,
Mm-hmm.
Jahdae Barron, cornerback from University of Texas, Will Campbell, offensive tackle from LSU, and Cam Ward at 9.
Who's at 10?
Cam Ward at 10, Will Campbell at 9, sorry.
All right.
Jahdae Barron was at 8, Jalen Walker was at 7, Colston Loveland 6. But yeah, so according to this, the positions, it's like, okay, we've got 2 edge rushers in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
We've got 1 offensive tackle. We don't have even, according to his Daniel Jeremiah's list. And we have 2 cornerbacks. If you count Travis Hunter as a quarterback, they got him at wide receiver cornerback. So it's all over the place, honestly, for a talent. 1 quarterback, 2 tight ends, 2 corners, 2 edges, 1 offensive tackle, and 1 running back. A defensive tackle and a running back. So yeah, it's pretty much a starting lineup of talent.
Yep. Yeah, there's guys I know that won't be there at 10. Like Graham won't be there at 10. Otherwise, I'd want the Bears to get him. And like Abdul Carter is not going to be there at 10. Otherwise, I want the Bears to get him. So like then for me, it's just if Genty's there at 10, you grab him. I think that Will Campbell, the offensive tackle from LSU, his measurables at the combine, he's got short arms. He's got like 32-inch arms or something like that, which is like below the perceived threshold for a tackle in the NFL for arm length.
Those short arms, I bet they gave him amazing numbers on the bench press.
Probably,
Then he
yeah.
could just throw weight up like it's nobody's
Yep.
business.
Don't push it as far. Yep. For sure. Yep. Well, we got a month and 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
I almost wish Aaron Rodgers would put out another documentary about himself.
He's doing it as we speak, sir.
Yeah, so I could fill in those in the Enigma too. Still an Enigma.
What?
Yeah.
Oh man, have you seen the baseball hats that have been getting all of the?
Yes. This is the second year in a row. Remember the ass hat from the A's last year? This year we got the Texas Rangers with the
Tetas.
Yeah. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, hold on. That's not a hat.
Yeah. The one that was weird was the Angels.
I didn't see that one.
Because it's like ANAEL.
Oh, yeah, ELS. Yes, I did see that. The anals, yes.
Yes, it's like, it's almost there.
Yeah, it's close enough to be like, you guys didn't see this? The Rangers
they took the whole line down. They took the whole line down.
Oh, they took the whole line down? I knew they took 2 down. I think I thought it was the anals and the tetas.
But the people are selling the tetas hat
for like $1,000 on eBay.
$1,000.
Like, you just make your own.
It's not official though.
It's just
Not official.
Like I think in Miami's too was like MMI or something like that. Like, I'm like, okay, yeah, like just poor designs.
The Astros was assholes.
Yep.
Like, oh, come on, guys. What are y'all doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Nope, just stupid. Like that you clearly had no one that speaks Spanish,
Right.
or
Or even half would knew something because I was like, oh no, I know those.
I knew it immediately. Yeah, I'm like, wait a minute, you can't put that on a hat. But yeah, it's awesome. I like that's 2 years in a row that Major League Baseball has done something terrible like that. So you get the ass hat, the Tatas hat, and the asshole hat, and the anal hat.
Man, see, and that is why DEI is so important, right?
Yes.
If you would have had somebody
If
of
you had
another
anybody
culture,
that speaks,
of another culture in
Yes.
that room, like, hold on, maybe we don't do this.
that's why you have every possible eye you can have looking at stuff, because it only makes sense, or at least somebody with some level of consciousness to just be like, maybe we should run all of these things through as something to determine if they're like bad words or some sort of slang or whatever. Because like, what if one of them spelled like goatsy or something like that? Like you didn't know it was going to happen, or looked like a goatsy, right? Like,
Oh yes,
you got to know these things.
you gotta know. You gotta know.
Yep. Anytime something's ripping something open from both sides, you can't
Just
put
stay
it
away
on.
from that.
Just stay away from it. But I wouldn't be surprised if there was a goatsy Major League Baseball hat official. It'd probably be the White Sox.
Listen, or they're just doing it with all the mascots. It's just someone ripping it, and then your mascot face,
A mask.
Mr.
Yep.
Matt.
Yep. Mr. Met. Yep. Yep.
Philly fanatic just bursting through.
Yep. Sure would.
Man, why don't we should be making these hats as we speak.
Yeah, now I'm picturing like Mr. Met holding up something like below, like so the mascots are below, holding up, ripping open a sign for I guess something other to come out. Yeah, we should be making. You're right. We should be hired by somebody to make these hats.
We clearly would be better than whoever is currently doing it.
And they probably sell like crazy for a very short amount of time.
Oh yeah. Trying to see
the
anything
goat
else.
sea line. And you can call it the goat line too, like the.
Oh, the greatest
See
of
the
all
goats?
mascots of the greatest of all time mascots.
Yeah. They're the goats. See.
Oh man, what else is there in sports? Anything else in sports?
No, nothing I could think of.
We talked about it at the time, and I don't really. I've been trying not to look at it and see what's going on. But seeing LeBron James press Stephen A. Smith courtside about something he said about his
Bronny.
son felt weird.
Yeah, but Stephen A.
Because-
Smith backed down.
Did he?
I think so.
I seen him on. He was on a podcast the other day talking real loud about what LeBron.
Oh, was he? Well, he
Mhm.
backed down for a brief minute then, and I guess somebody probably called him a punk for that. So he's like, not a punk. He got paid a shit ton of money. to do
100
this.
mil, 5 years, 100 mil.
So much money to do what he does.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, I think ESPN. I think the ESPN sports book is going under though too, aren't they? Like they failed ESPN bet.
Oh, I don't know. Then I didn't hear that.
No, I thought something was up with them where they were failing terribly. Claim the ESPN bet promo code. Oh no, maybe not. I still hate the fact that they have their
In
own
line
sports
with-
book, and they can easily shift lines at their own whim.
Of course.
I hate that. Absolutely hate it. And I hate that commercial with Steven's A list. It's no Steven's A list.
They got all sorts. I don't know. I'm not a sports bettor. Can't get
Well,
into it.
I can't do it in Wisconsin, and I think that's
I
probably
can't
good.
do it here. I can't do it either here. So
And the few times I did it, I just bet stupid. I'm like, I'm going to put $20 in, and I'm going to bet stupid and see if I can win $1 million. And Did not.
Mac Jones is off the QB list.
Oh, where'd he go?
Mac Jones, 49ers on a 2-year, $7 million deal.
Let's see. It's another one of those reclamation projects.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, Mac Jones, huh? Yeah, 7 million with 5 million guaranteed. Not too bad, all things considering.
He might have to play though. Like
Maybe.
Purdy seems to get injured a little bit.
Yeah.
If I gotta play, I'm gonna need more than $7 million, $3 million.
That's maybe he's
If
going
I'm
the
a
Sam
quarterback,
Darnold route.
if I'm third string, maybe. But if you expecting me to get some, if I gotta know the playbook and everything, I'm gonna need more than $3 million.
I maybe he's doing the Sam Darnold thing. He saw Sam Darnold was what he was, and then he went and spent a year in San Francisco. Then he went to Minnesota, and now he got 3 years, 100 mil. Maybe he's trying to do that. Maybe he'll be on the Vikings next year because JJ McCarthy's gonna be terrible.
He's injured again.
Yeah.
Well, JJ McCarthy doesn't work out. That's gonna suck for them. Because Sam Darnold
you can get rid of the
good.
if. It's when JJ McCarthy doesn't work out for them.
I can't say that. It's an if still.
No, it's a win. It's almost a guaranteed win.
I didn't think Bo Nix was gonna do good.
It's still only one season. Give it time.
True. So
We were just talking about Mac Jones, who only had one season. So,
but that means McCarthy could have his one season.
no, he just won't. I'd stake my sports reputation on it, which is minimal.
No. I was that they get you. I don't think it doesn't get you the credentials. You
Being right about JJ McCarthy doesn't get me any bragging rights. I don't think. I think the Vikings being wrong on JJ McCarthy is delicious. That's all.
It's probably correct too.
All right. I think that's all I got in me for tonight.
All right. Wait, did you say we have to record Tuesday? We have to
Tuesday,
record
yeah. I'm going to be out, and then we'll have a week off because I'm